What is up, guys? So today we're going to talk about England. England is on its arse. England is knackered. It's just gone downhill. It don't feel like England anymore. Doncaster, it don't feel like Doncaster anymore. And if you're easily triggered, I suggest you don't watch the rest of this video. But if you like hearing truth based on facts and experience, then that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to talk about my own experience in Doncaster. Yesterday I was going to go to town. I was going to make a video. I thought I'll whip into town, I'll have a mooch around for a couple of minutes, see if I can see any of my old buddies who are still on drugs, maybe do a video with them. And when I got to town, I was just too depressed. I just couldn't do it. I was looking around and it was like being in Rwanda or Syria. It was just all immigrants. There was very few English people. And I was walking through and I just didn't feel comfortable, There was like groups of immigrants eyeballing me, like growling at me, and I thought, I just don't feel comfortable here. So I left. And unfortunately, that's what it's like in Doncaster. That's what it's like in many parts of England now. There's illegal immigrants coming over, and if they come over on a boat illegally, breaking the law, entering this country, they stick them in an hotel, 5-star hotel, give them a new phone, they get treated like royalty. But if you talk about it, if you get frustrated with that, and if you talk about how you don't agree with it, why is this happening, this is not fair, then you could probably end up in prison just for mentioning it, just for getting frustrated by it. The prison system, it's on its arse, mate. Now, you all know I've been through this system, right? I used to be a heroin addict, I've been homeless, I've changed my life, I've turned my life around, and I make videos so people can see, people can get educated on what it's like, people can get motivated, people can get inspired to change their lives, maybe get clean. And that's why I do it. And I just don't feel comfortable in Doncaster anymore. I feel like a minority in my own town. The system, I've been through the system many times, I don't hide away from it. And I've always been treated with, fairly but firmly. I knew if I broke the law, I would go to prison. If I used violence, if I hurt anyone, I knew I was going to get like 6 years at least. I knew that you don't hit coppers or you get a big sentence. And I knew if I killed someone, then you go to prison for the rest of your life. Not anymore. Now, if you're an immigrant and you commit a crime, you get away with it. But if you're an Englishman and, you say a few hurty words or you get a bit frustrated, then you're the one that goes to prison. And it's on its arse. I can't believe how we are now. It's unbelievable. Everybody in the world sees what problem we've got. Mass immigration. Too many illegal immigrants. No one's got a problem with a few immigrants coming over, changing their lives, doing good, being polite, being friendly. That's great. We're proud to have you in our country. But when it's just absolutely loads and they've got no respect, they're angry all the time, they don't care about our way of life. And they're out there, the people getting stabbed in the street. We never had that before all this. There was a video I saw yesterday, a group of, I think they were Romanians or something, and they was in McDonald's. And they got kicked out because they were just throwing food everywhere, they were throwing rubbish, chucking pop all over the place. And they ended up getting kicked out because it was too loud and too, causing too much chaos. So they got kicked out, and then they videoed where they'd been sat and there was food and pop all over the floor, there was rubbish everywhere, and it ruined everybody's day who was there. But if you mention it, if you talk about it, oh, you're a racist. And the system, I watched something last night, Parole, I think it was called, and there was 2 guys going up for parole. This is how messed up the system is. One of them had gone and got a table leg, he'd planned a murder, he'd gone to somebody's house with a table leg with nails in the end, and he'd planned it and beat a guy to death. Right? And he was going up for parole. And then there was another guy I think he punched a copper, and he got locked up for it, and they were both going up for parole. Now the one who killed the guy he'd been taking hostages while he were in there. He took a little kid hostage, beat him up, battered him, I don't know, I think he wanted to ship out or something. And he was applying for parole. And the other guy was a model inmate. You know, he'd got his head down, everybody spoke highly of him. There was even people at the parole hearing saying, yep, he's a model inmate, he helps all the other prisoners, we think he deserves a chance. But when they asked the killer, said, oh, well, how do you think you'll act if you're in that situation again? He says, oh, well, I don't know how I can act, I don't know how I'll act. And I'm thinking, well, you don't even want parole. There's no way he's going to get out. He can't even convince himself he's going to behave. And they had the meeting, and guess who got parole? The killer who'd been taking hostages got parole. The guy who was in for missing an appointment, he hit a copper, and then he got out, and whilst he was on bail, or what's it called, whilst he was on parole, he went to the shop and came back a couple of minutes late, and he got denied parole. But the guy taking hostages, beating people up, got parole, who'd killed someone. I ain't got the words. What is going on? How have we got to this point where the justice system's knackered? It doesn't work anymore. They're letting out people that have killed people, and they're locking up people that are frustrated. You know, they're frustrated about kids getting murdered in the street. They're frustrated about angry, aggressive immigrants treating everybody like crap, you know, throwing rubbish all over. And they're frustrated about that. So why don't the government say, okay, there's obviously something wrong here. People are going to the streets and burning things, so we need to address this problem. But they're not doing that. They're just like, oh, no problem there. You know, you're racist, you're far right, you're the problem. What? But that's where we are now. The system's knackered. The prison system's knackered. Immigration's way out of control. I don't feel safe in my own town anymore. And that's where we are. And it's sad. I don't know how we can come back from it. I don't know how we move forward from it. I don't think we can. I think it's too far gone now. But, yeah, unfortunately, that's England now. England is on its arse. Bonjour.